The boy pageant fans, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, I just finished watching Celeste's Fast Talk with Boya Bunda interview, and funny how I no longer feel sad about her non-placement in Miss Universe. And what is so amazing in her situation is that we love her even more after the pageant. Now, I feel all is not yet lost for our country in Miss Universe. We just have to, like I've said before, we just have to recalibrate our strategies and look at the brighter side. That there are so many things that we still have to be grateful for as a pageant fan. And this is the purpose of this video. How do we reignite the fire or passion or still cultivate the Filipino pride and values among us pageant fans, stakeholders, or as a pageant loving community despite what happened? If you are watching this, I hope you can think about of the things that I'm about to say. Here we go. Number one, there is still so much Filipino representation in the Miss Universe organization in case you haven't realized it. Kasi guys, we keep dwelling on the negative by focusing too much on our streak that has been broken. But if you are observant enough to follow the entire last edition in New Orleans, you would definitely not miss the fact that there were several Filipino personalities like Miss Olivia Kido and Mr. Jojo Bragais who sponsored the recently concluded edition. I know you may all dismiss this as a small, insignificant development, but the mere fact that the Miss Universe organization still chooses our kababayans to help them means that they have recognized and valued our trust and talent in helping them elevate its pageant system. Especially Miss O, who was one of the judges in the finals night after being the official skincare provider for 4 years in a row. 'Di ba? And ngayon ko na naisip, apart from, and now Miss O joins the elite few of sponsors who became judges later on, like Farouk Shami, founder of chairman of Farouk Systems, makers of Chi and Biosilk brands. Remember him during the Trump era, and also the Carnival line president, si Christina Duffy, who gave this special award to Dominican Republic back in 2020 of the edition of Miss Universe. And although it remains to be seen how long the partnerships of MUO with both Miss Olivia and Sir Jojo, no doubt Filipino excellence and artistry are still considered world class, and I can only hope more doors of career opportunities or expansion could open for both of them in the near future. And same goes to all the Filipino designers being tapped by different national pageant organizations around the world to do the gowns of their respective candidates. In the recent, di ba, just in case in point, in the recently concluded Miss Universe pageant, there were 7 Filipino designers who lent their talent during the evening gown competition, katulad nila Sir Leo Almodal, Rian Fernandez, Ferna Mato, and Carlos Andrada, and many more. So instead of dwelling on the negativity, why don't we channel our collective energy in, which brings to my second point, in alleviating the state of our Philippine pageantry system, that it's not about camps and personalities anymore. Yup, back in the day, even during our drought years, if you remember that, we used to be so united as a community whenever we would watch our delegates compete abroad. Now, I feel the state of our pageantry system has been fragmented by camp wars and pageant personalities that it slowly diminish the passion and our sense of community or unity for our delegate. And with the resurgence of the Philippines in international pageantry during the last decade, everything suddenly became a battle of camps and personalities, to the point that these people or these camps have already taken away the spotlight from our girls competing, which is sad if you think about it, because it is slowly taking away the fun and excitement of following one's candidate's journey in her international competition. and sa totoo lang guys, ang direct impact nitong sa mga girls competing is so negative because it also makes the girls from these respective camps so catty and hyper competitive against each other to the point that it's no longer healthy. And dagdagan nyo pa ang mga fans who would ride on the issues every now and then. Hence, issues abound. Get? So, I hope that we can go back to the day where we can be united and proud of showcasing ourselves, whether as a fan or delegate, on what is truly Filipino by starting with our values. The values that we uphold so much as Filipino, like our fairness, loyalty, love, and respect for our elders or national directors. Ano pa? Camaraderie and bayanihan spirit, instead of being divided and reluctant with our support for Our Ladies and her organization. Siguro, one good example of this point I am driving at is how the Binibining Pilipinas Charities Incorporated has fostered these Filipino values in its 6 decades of existence. Probably it helped that the Binibining Pilipinas Charities Incorporated was created as a non-profit organization, first and foremost, to help so many orphanages in Metro Manila with the help of our local government units. I get now why BPCI has been exposing its title holders to numerous charity works, flood relief operations, and donation drives before and after its annual coronation night, so they could also pay it forward to the respective local communities with their newfound fame and influence in relation to BPCI's mission to spread peace and love across the nation. And with this, the good qualities of true Filipino beauty are being highlighted na matulungin sa kapwa at maunawain. So I really get now why all these Binibining Pilipinas title holders, even after their reign, enjoy so much goodwill because they have imbibed the Binibini spirit / legacy of not just being crowned the most beautiful of our land, but also being women for others. And speaking of values, guys, as fans and enthusiasts, we also do our share in the fostering of this camaraderie with one another, whether here or abroad, which leads me to my next point, that we should always be genuinely happy for others' success, be warm and friendly. I remember back in the day, guys, during our so-called rowdy years in Philippine pageantry from year 2000 to year 2009, masaya na tayo kapag mahagip lang tayo ng camera ng Miss Universe during the finals night. And that already meant so much for all of us. Mahagip lang tayo during the evening gown segment, or had an interview exposure backstage. Masayang-masaya na tayo ngayon. Now, we are no longer content with everything we see. We like to nitpick on everything that we became so entitled and toxic, that to the point that we became so entitled and toxic on social media. And it probably stems from the fact that majority of the fans at the moment are coming from a whole new generation who, technically speaking, were too young to feel the pain of seeing our representatives not make it to the semis for 10 consecutive years 2 decades ago, at sanay lang makita yung bansa natin na laging nananalo ng titles every now and then. So by fostering Filipino pride, I don't mean we have to keep winning every pageant in the world right now, but more on showing our positive Filipino traits in every aspect of following a pageant or competition. Ngayon guys, napansin ko, we consider it already a huge loss for our contestant if she only makes it to the first cut of the competition. And anything below top 16 or anything below top 5 is a definition of a loss or ligwak because she did not do this or that, and instead of being sensitive to her feelings, like as if she really want to make it only there and did not perform to the best of her abilities. And isa pa, masyado ring big deal sa atin na if masyado tayong nagagaya in terms of styling and wardrobe among many other things ng ibang lahi. And one example of this is how we pinpoint how other countries have copied Catriona's Miss Universe walk and styling, and instead of being flattered by the imitation or be thankful about it, we denounce them right away. Hence, when other people from different nations find the exact same fault on us, online bickering ensues. So it has become so toxic on social media, and I for one am preaching this to myself as well, because There have been statements I made in the past which also did not sit well with other nationalities. And as someone who has been given a platform like this one I have on YouTube right now, all the more I have to realize the responsibility I have as an information giver in helping shape public opinion. So if you notice guys, from my end, you no longer see me posting photo grids of contestants side by side for the purpose of comparison or on Instagram napansin nyo, or even make as much leaderboards as I can out of respect for the ladies competing in the pageant. Nung nakaraang Miss Universe, I uploaded my final leaderboard when the pageant was already starting para wala nang makakita ng leaderboard ko and just for the sake of uploading it. So I hope we learn to be happy for other success in as much as we want others to be happy for our success as well. That we should always be warm and hospitable to all of them kasi guys, role model tayo sa kanila. We are a powerhouse country in the world in the pageantry, so it is expected that a lot of countries will really look up to us for inspiration, and we should always never be threatened by anyone's success. And this also goes to how we treat pageant owners who visit our country once in a while. I remember last year you all bashed me and my fellow media pageant friends who dared to cover a pageant owner's visit with his winner's entourage just because of how he has unfairly treated our candidates in his pageant in the past. And it's so sad that we have come at this point that where we always resort to bashing if things don't go our way. And sana, regardless of how we feel towards pageant owners, we still show them the warmth and hospitality that we are known for, that there is something positive or happy that makes them keep coming back here. Na regardless of their agenda, isipin na lang natin somehow napopromote pa rin yung bansa natin sa platforms nila that makes people from around the world think that it's really more fun to visit our country. So it is really time that we really examine our values and who we are as Filipinos na mabait and matulungin sa kapwa regardless of race, gender, and culture. And now, we finally go to my last point, which is let's finally create a safe and healthy space for our contestants on social media. I think this is something we pageant fans have to carefully evaluate our actions. We have gone overboard with our criticism and commentary on all the girls competing, whether she is a Filipina or foreign contestant. And nowadays, we advise candidates to strengthen their mental fortitude, especially when dealing with fans and bashers alike on social media, since it can really affect their game. I know we all just want the best for our girls competing, but sadly, majority of us are going overboard with our criticism that it's no longer healthy and constructive. So I hope as pageant fans, we can remind ourselves to create a safe and healthy forum or discussion on how we write down our thoughts on the comment section without sounding too harsh. I also hope that we remember that these girls are still humans and that they are here in the pageant world to fulfill their dreams. And I hope we can exercise more compassion and restraint when we share our thoughts online and always try to put ourselves in their shoes instead so we can somehow feel what they're going through as a contestant. Kasi nowadays guys, pageantry has become so toxic, and I hope we learn to make it less by being kind with one another. And there is a nice way of saying our point without sounding too insulting or harsh to the girls. Or siguro, just for you guys to realize what we have been doing, why don't we try to put ourselves in their shoes? Why not think of these girls as our close friends or sisters or relatives joining the contest instead? How would we feel? How would you feel if someone mocks or degrades them with all these harsh and toxic words on social media? For sure, you would not want that to happen, and you will all definitely do your best to spare or shield them from harm. Siguro guys, the best thing that we could do probably, the more we become accepting of our girls' imperfections and limitations, the more we appreciate who they are and what they can offer to the table. In that way, we won't feel any disappointment if they fall short of our expectations. And I can actually say a lot more, guys, about this, but I feel if we could just re-examine our values and be just grateful for everything, regardless of the outcome or results, na following pageantry is still a worthwhile endeavor or passion. Para naman guys, yung sa susunod na henerasyon na pageant fans would take a cue from our behavior presently in supporting pageantry and still make it a worthy passion to pursue or to follow. That pageantry allows people like us to exchange ideas with one another freely, especially now at this time that we really need to recalibrate our strategy in Miss Universe. And now that the streak has been broken, all the more that we really have to do it. And if we demand the recalibration of strategy in preparing our girls, then I think we should also recalibrate our minds and attitude as pageant fans and be more kind with one another.